What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Hot Mic Sports. I'm your host, Ben Merrick, coming at you with another daily banger. This one is continuing the series of every offseason move I think every single team should make. This one, we're going to be moving on to a super interesting team. This is the Clippers. Obviously, I'm not wearing a jersey. I don't got a Clippers jersey, but maybe if you were to subscribe, if you like NBA content, you were to subscribe, maybe I could afford a Clippers jersey one day. I don't know. Not trying to guilt trip you or anything, but it'd be appreciated. So yeah, this idea of doing the Clippers came from my Instagram polls. If you guys wanted to comment down below in this YouTube channel, or go to my Instagram, and I put those polls up every day on which videos you guys want to see. So if you want to see a certain team, put it in the comments or put it in my Instagram, and then I'll make sure to address that. So the Clippers are up today. This was a super interesting team. Obviously, that's why it was requested. So with the Bucks, I had like a sell, like in rebuild situation, and then I had like a go all out for the chip situation. This one is not as easy. It's actually easier. This is go all out, and that's the only option the Clippers have. You can argue that now's the time to sell, but they are so far deep at this point. Like, they have no draft stock, nothing. At this point, you gave up so much that you have to go for the chip this year. So that's my opinion. If you guys want to see a possible rebuilding scenario of the Clippers, you let me know. But this is what I think they have to do to be super close to a championship or win it. So the big thing in this video, sorry for shaking there. Big thing for this video is star power. I think that teams are going to be making a push for more star power after we saw that the Lakers just had the most star power in the league, and they won the championship with virtually no one else. It was Anthony Davis and LeBron, and some help from playoff Rondo, and that's what they got. So that's going to be a thing in this video, so just make sure to listen to me first before you run to the comments and say I'm stupid. So the first move I have for the Clippers is let your free agents go. People might think I'm stupid. I say let Montrezl walk. The reason for that is he's valued at $14 million. They would have to go far into the bird, and they would also, at that point, be losing Marcus Morris, like all the rest of their free agents. They'd basically be selling out to get Montrezl Harrell and losing everyone else. And that team is worse than last year's team, and they're not going to get anywhere with that. So let Montrezl walk. He's going to go get a bag somewhere like Charlotte or something like that. Someone that just randomly will pay big men. And he's a little bit overhyped. We saw him in the playoffs not do very well. There were some circumstances that he had in his life, but he didn't play super well. And we'll have to see what he does with the rest of his career, but good riddance to you, Montrezl Harrell. Moving on from that, this is the big piece of the video that we'll base everything off of. The last couple of days there have been rumors that the Clippers and Knicks are the two main teams that could possibly trade for Russell Westbrook. And obviously I'm doing the Clippers video here, so we're going to push for Russ. Now, with Montrezl Harrell being gone, makes it a lot easier to do. Obviously, Russell Westbrook's on a $44 million contract, so that's going to be tough to bring in if you want to keep Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That's the thing. I'm keeping Paul George and I'm keeping Kawhi Leonard, and I'm giving up fair value for Russell Westbrook. Here's the trade for them. Patrick Beverley, Lou Will, Ivica Zubac, Rodney McGruder, and 4 second-round picks. You might be saying I'm selling him short, not giving him any real assets. Here's the thing. Pat Bev and Lou Will both played for Houston. Houston had so much trouble getting rid of them. They did not want to do it. They, at all costs, kept Patrick Beverley and Lou Williams until it came down to the Rockets trade where they got Chris Paul from LA. So we'll be seeing LA trade him back. The Rockets aren't totally sure what they want to do, but I know they want to dump that contract and free up some space. They could be making a push for Giannis in the next year. So freeing up this space, Lou Williams on a 1-year deal. Patrick Beverley is very easy to get rid of because he's such a good defender. At least he thinks he is. Zubac is a nice young center, and with possible resentment towards PJ Tucker in the small ball lineup, Zubac could be the exact opposite and perfect for what they have, especially since Daryl Morey's gone now. Daryl Morey was still there. I don't see Zubac being even close to being able to come on this team. Rodney Magruder's a cap filler, and then 4 second-round picks. I don't think we're going to, first of all, the Clippers don't have any first-round picks. Secondly, I don't think the Rockets are going to get very many second-round picks. I mean, first-round picks along with the value we just gave up. If they're going to get first-round picks, it's going to be like a solid, decent player that's a little bit young and 2 first-round picks. We saw what happens when you give up too many first-round picks for a guy like Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul or Paul George. So teams are going to learn from that. 4 seconds is pretty fair draft stock. So we're going to have Russell Westbrook on the team with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That right there is your big 3. That's going to compete with the Lakers in terms of star power. Now you have no money and you have to fill out a team around them because, like I said, you let all your free agents walk. You just traded away your core players. So you have 3 stars and that's about it. So for that we go to free agency. We're gonna keep Landry Shamet. I think he's going to be a great starting shooting guard alongside Russ. With Zubac gone, he was a piece you would have needed to move if you bring in Wes anyways, because Russ is way more efficient when he has a center that can play out of the paint, which Zubac can't. So Russ will be ultra efficient. I see Paul George fitting in really well as a wing defender alongside Russ. We saw that duo work out really well together. They needed another piece. Kawhi Leonard's another piece. Russ is a great defender. Paul George is an amazing defender. Kawhi Leonard obviously is an amazing defender. Landry Shamet brings in more shooting. Obviously, all 3 of them, or 2 out of 3, can really shoot the ball. But Shamet is a pure sniper. I'd like to see him alongside both of them. Plus, even though he's lackluster in defense, you have defenders around him. So you got Russell Westbrook, Landry Shamet, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard running the 4. You can switch those out. And at the 5, you go to free agency. You go for a vet that can stretch the floor, and that's Mike Muscala. You bring him in on a minimum deal. He'll definitely be getting his ring, or he thinks he'll be getting his ring. That's definitely a minimum-worthy player. Mike Muscala can stretch the floor, play some decent interior defense. That's what they'll need to complete their starting 5. No, it's not the strongest center, but you can't afford the strongest center. You want Russell Westbrook, so that's what you have to go with. Off the bench, it's a little bit tough. We saw the Lakers run a 7-man rotation in the finals with Alex Caruso as their starting shooting guard. So keep that in mind. Off the bench, I think you keep Terrence Mann. I like him as a shooter. Again, you could sub him out with Shaman if he starts to pop off. I think you bring in Jeff Teague on a minimum or close to minimum deal. Mid-level exception possibly. I think Jeff Teague will provide some good veteran leadership and be probably their best piece off the bench. We got Carmelo Anthony will probably be close to a minimum deal. I think he'll probably sign for $5 million. He wants his ring at this point in his career. I think he's going to go to LA, which is another bigger market that he likes. I don't think Portland will bring him back. I know he said he wants to go back to Portland, but I don't think Portland will have him back. So I see him fitting in pretty well in LAC. And then I think the last move that the LA Clippers make, how are we on time here? Yep, the last move that the LA Clippers make is trading for Naz Reid from the Minnesota Timberwolves for Kevin Galley and a second-round pick. I think that deal is very hard to make. The salaries all match up. Kevin Galley is younger than Naz Reid, which at this point that's what the Timberwolves want. Naz Reid will hold it down in the middle in case they need to center off the bench. And a second-round pick is basically what they're getting in that deal. You have to match up salaries, and then they're getting a draft stock for Naz Reid, which at that point that's a W for them. So to round out that lineup, you got Russell Westbrook, Landry Shamet, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Mike Muscala. Coming off the bench, you're going to run a 9-man rotation. You're going to have Jeff Teague, Terrence Mann, Carmelo Anthony, Naz Reid. Also, you'll have Joakim Noah in case you want Joakim Noah for some reason. I do see them being able to bring in other pieces like DeAndre Bembry if they wanted. His value's super low. I don't expect Atlanta to hold on to him. But that's really only for fillers. You get the point, really, is I think the Clippers should go all out for Russ and fill it in with a sniper at the 2 and a stretch 5. Other than that, these are all replaceable players. I really hope they do get to bring in Jeff Teague if this is what they do. But this is definitely arguable. Drop in the comments what you want to do with this Clippers team below. Tell the Clippers that they should hire me as their GM at this point. And drop the next team you want in the comments. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.